This week's Piltch Point with Avram Piltch is proudly powered by Newegg. Whether you're looking to build a new computer or upgrade an existing one, Newegg has all of the pieces that you need, from RAM and power supplies to hard drives, SSDs, and a whole lot more. And they offer daily deals. In fact, today's daily deal is a 3 terabyte external hard drive for $99 from Toshiba. I've used that drive. It's not a bad one, and it's a pretty good price for it. But the deals change every day, and it's not necessarily always computer parts. Sometimes they surprise us and put a mini fridge or whatever the thing was last week that surprised me. So to find out what deals they have and to browse the entire catalog, you can go to pilchpoint.live/Newegg. So, on the hard drive topic, Avram, we've got some stuff to talk about.
Yes, don't buy hard drive.
Fair enough.
No, I mean, it's fine to buy a hard drive for backup, for an external hard drive for backup. But we've been talking for years. I've been talking for years, evangelizing for years about SSDs. At this point, I think actually it started, even on inexpensive computers, we're seeing a lot of SSDs. But of course, the big drawback for a lot of people is, wow, it still costs quite a bit to get a reasonably sized SSD. Perhaps not for much longer. Prices are dropping dramatically. And according to some reports, we're going to see SSD prices drop by even maybe 50% more in 2019.
Wow.
Now, this is in a marketplace where we're also expecting the prices of, now, I don't know if this is really priced in, but we're also expecting the prices of a lot of components to go up this month and again in January because of in the United States anyway, because of the effect of tariffs on imports of things that were built in China, which a lot of components are. But you don't have to wait till 2019. This month, obviously, we're in the full swing of holiday shopping season, Black Friday time frame, and we're going to see some incredible deals. So my colleague Matt Safford wrote a great article that we have on the homepage of tomshardware.com right now called "How to Tell an SSD Deal from a Solid State Dud." So, it's important to know when you're shopping for anything, when you see that something is on sale, that doesn't mean that it is the best price that you can get, or that it is a particularly good price relative to what it usually goes for. A lot of companies put things on sale, and then the sale price is actually worse than the regular price, or what one company's sale price is, it just makes it have parity with another company's site's regular price, everyday price. So anyway, here's a few tips to keep in mind. First of all, you want to look at the price history of the drive that you think, if you see a drive you think it might be a great deal on sale, it's good to look at the price history. Now, how do you see the price history? If something is on, there are a number of price trackers that are out there. A really good one is Camel. Now, camel.com tracks the price on Amazon. They don't track the price everywhere, but if you can see what the lowest price on Amazon ever was, even if your deal is on another site, you know whether you're getting a particularly good deal. Also, PC Part Picker has a pretty impressive price tracker that cuts across a few different retailers. The other thing is that we really recommend that you get name brand SSDs. Now, one person's name brand maybe isn't another person's name brand, but looking at my colleagues and I spent some time hanging out in Amazon and Newegg looking at like what the cheapest drives are right now, and there's some very bizarre brand names that the drives might be fine, but if you haven't heard of this company and they're not well known, what if you have a problem and they may not exactly be a big company to get good service from? So like here's a few brand names, and let's see, Scott, have you heard of Dogfish?
Sadly, yes.
Nemex?
No.
Shark?
No, but it sounds like it would be a fast drive.
Yeah, right, because isn't there a Seagate Shark or something? But this is just Shark.
There was the Barracuda.
Oh, Barracuda. I'm getting my deadly fish storage mixed up. Not to be confused with the Raptor. Anyway, so the price difference, if you see look, maybe Dogfish is great, but I personally would not get one because the price difference between getting a Dogfish and let's say getting a SanDisk or a Samsung drive or another reputable brand like Crucial or Micron or one of those is probably not much. There are a lot of brands out there that we've heard of that are pretty decent. I mean, it's not just Samsung and Intel and SanDisk and Crucial, but
right, because OCZ is a brand name that the average consumer may not recognize, but a PC loyalist knows that they make some of the best fast RAM on the market, so they already know about solid state memory. So there are some names that you may not recognize but are big names.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of different brands out there. AData, Kingston, Patriot, Gigabyte has SSDs now. But anyway, so you just want to make sure that you're getting a name brand. The other thing is, at this point in the history of SSDs, it simply doesn't pay for you to get like a 128 gigabyte drive.
Right.
You can already get a 128 gigabyte drive for like under $30. Now that's great. That feels great for those of us who remember people paying like $1,000 for a 64 gigabyte drive a few years ago.
Yes.
But 128, honestly, it's not enough. 256, frankly, you can live with it, but given the prices that these things are getting to now, you should probably get at least a 500 gig drive. I mean, right now, without big sales, you can get a 500 gig, very name brand drive for $85 or $80. We think that by, the Black Friday week, you may see drives from major manufacturers like Samsung down there at like $75 or $70 for the 512. But what will really be exciting for people, because, a lot of people already have these capacities, is can you step up to 1 terabyte or 2 terabytes? And I think you may very well see a 1 terabyte drive for $100 this Black Friday season. I mean, you can't right now. I think the lowest is like 125 or 150, but that's something I wouldn't be surprised to see. Finally, and this is really important, maybe this should be number one, is know which type of SSD you need. If you have a pre-built laptop or a pre-built desktop, and you don't know what type of SSD you need. Now, by type, I mean there's basically 3 types of connection for an SSD. There is a 2.5 inch SSD, which is the same size as a regular hard drive that it may have replaced. And a lot of laptops have those. But anything that's a little newer uses the M2 size, which is basically a stick, that looks a lot like a stick of RAM. And that's a completely different slot. And then if you have a desktop, you can get an add-in card that goes into one of your PCIe slots. But primarily the one, you'll be choosing between an M2 and a 2.5 inch, particularly if you have a pre-built computer. So the way to find out is obviously reading your service manual would help. Another way to find out is if you go to crucial.com, they have a memory picker there that will tell you exactly what it has, like every single computer on there, even brand spanking new ones, and you can see exactly what it has and whether it's replaceable or not. So that's a good way to know whether you need an M2 or a 2.5 inch. And then finally, if you have an M2 slot, there's a good chance that your computer supports an NVMe drive. NVMe, amongst M2 size, there's NVMe and then there's regular SATA. Most of the time, if you have an M2 slot, it will support NVMe. Why do you want NVMe? It's 3 times as fast. That's why. So if you can, the best type of drive to get, if you have an M2 slot, or if you have a choice of M2 or 2.5, is to get an M2 and NVMe. Or if you've got lots of money and you've got a desktop, you can get an add-in card such as the Intel Optane SSD 905P, which is the fastest SSD on the market. But the key thing is know what you need, buy name brand stuff, and keep track of the price history. And this month you should be able to find, I'm going to say you'll probably be able to find a name brand 512 or 500 gig drive for $75 or $70. You'll on sale soon enough, and you'll probably be able to find a 1 terabyte for around $100 soon enough.
Hearing that sentence out loud sounds insane to those of us who have been following it for a long time. You know what I mean? Because, like you said, I remember, a fairly small drive being 4 digits not that long ago. So, that's great. That's great.
This is one of the few areas in life where there actually has been progress in my lifetime. Powerful technology does keep getting cheaper. What was expensive stuff a few years ago is cheap now and commonplace. And, what was considered a big deal is a small deal now. Getting back to my Raspberry Pi hobby, you can get a Raspberry Pi Zero W for $5, right?
Yeah.
That, by today's standards, it's a single core computer. It's not very fast, but it has Wi-Fi and it can run a windowed operating system. Mm-hmm. That means that it is infinitely better than, say, a top of the line $3,000 computer from 1992.
True.
Or even 1995, let's say. It is infinitely better than a $5 computer today is. You would have paid $10,000 for it. You would have and not been able to get it 22 years ago. So
yeah, for sure. I know we talked long ago that we had somebody on the show who had bought a 64 32 megabyte SD card for his SanDisk Samsa MP3 player for $219 because it tripled the amount of storage that the thing had.
Listen, we've all been there.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow it'll be not tomorrow. Today's 1 terabyte SSD will be nothing.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we're all just we know this now.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
you also know that when you're an early adopter, you got to pay to get. Sometimes you got to pay to get the use of the things that you need, because your life isn't forever. So you can't. So what you pay for when you're paying for stuff is you pay for the time that you have with it. And so if I told you now that, like, 5 years from now you'll be able to get a much better VR headset than the HTC Vive for $200, but you want to play VR games, that shouldn't stop you from getting it today.
Yeah, for sure. It's just, things get downcycled, right? We've talked about that before. I've got a formerly $1,400 original Surface Pro sitting over here. That's what powers the chat room. My SSD experience is, early on, I bought a drive. I spent some money on it as my system drive for my main editing computer, and today that drive serves as the Adobe Scratch Disk.
At least you're still using it.
Indeed. But it has definitely been downcycled in its life purpose. But anyway, you said that the full list is available now?
Yeah, so check out the homepage of tomshardware.com, and you can see our article on how to tell an SSD deal from an SSDud. And we also have an article about how to do the same with graphics cards.
Ooh. Wow. That's obviously that's a complicated area of conversation. The graphics cards are all kinds of bizarre.
Yes, we could talk about that for a long time.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
there are deals, and probably will be deals for a while, on older graphics cards. Obviously, there's no deals on the new NVIDIA cards.
Fair enough. Well, obviously, always appreciate hearing those buying guides, because they, even being in the industry, sometimes, hearing that stuff is very helpful. So, as always, Avram, thank you for that.